Good morning. Today is Friday, July 24th, and we'll be looking at Luke chapter 10. So the Gospel of Luke will come to an end, and we will move on to the fourth Gospel, the Gospel of John. And I wanted to open the opportunity up for anyone who would like to record one of the chapters of John starting on August 8th. August 8th is a Saturday, and so if you could look at the schedule that you'll see below, you can volunteer to take whatever chapter of John you like. Just make sure you pay attention to the date and get the video to me via email in an MP4 or an MOV video, or a link with Facebook, YouTube, like this one is, by at least 2 or 3 days before the date of the devotion. If you'd like to contribute, if you have some thoughts, you might need a commentary to help you out, or a study Bible that helps too, or you can just read the scripture yourself and reflect on some of your thoughts for it. I would prefer you not to read the whole scripture, the whole chapter, as you would record yourself making a video, but I would just invite a shared responsibility in doing this endeavor, and I'll fill in the cracks when people don't have it. But John has a lot of interesting chapters, some good ones. I'll be disappointed if you decide to take some of my favorite chapters. Just kidding. But I just want to invite some of you to participate in this. But until then, today is the 24th, and we are looking at Luke chapter 10. He has the woes, the same as Matthew. Woe to you, woe to you, woe to you in chapter 10. And you get, he's woeing to unrepentant cities. That is where the woes come from. Unrepentant cities that are like Chorazin and Bethsaida and Tyre and Sidon and Capernaum. Will not be exalted to heaven, but be drawn down to Hades. So that's woe to cities. And this is after he sends out the 70. But in Luke, we get the whole narrative of how they return. So he sends out the 70. He says a little sermon about the woes to the cities. And then we get this small couple of verses, maybe 3, on their return. And it's a joyful and happy return. And they learn their lesson. They returned with joy, saying, Lord, in your name the demons submit to us. And he says, nevertheless, do not rejoice at this, that the spirits submit to you, but rejoice that your names are written in heaven. So they're happy. He brings them down a notch, but he says, there is a reason for rejoicing. It's just not the one you think it is. It's happening to them all the time. And then the lawyer stands up to test him. Does it sound familiar? The lawyer stands up to test him. Once again, he says, what is the commandment? Jesus recites the commandment, and the man identifying the term neighbor says, and who is my neighbor? And we have another Luke exclusive. So this is exclusive to Luke, and we have this little parable that we sometimes call the Good Samaritan. And this is added on to the lawyer that's testing him, a little story about who your neighbor is. In addition to the Good Samaritan, we also get to read the story of Martha and Mary, which is also a Luke exclusive. Now, John's gospel mentions Martha and Mary by name, identifies them with Bethany, but doesn't have this exact story. This is the story of Mary and Martha when Martha is sitting at, is preparing the meal, preparing for having Jesus there. And Mary is sitting at the Lord's feet, taking the posture of a disciple. And Martha complains to Jesus, why don't you tell my sister to help me? And it's really not sharing the burden of the domestic chores so much as she's in the wrong place. She's a woman, she can't be a disciple. And she's taking the form of a disciple. She's acting like a disciple. And then what does Jesus say? Martha, Martha, you are worried and distracted with many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, which will not be taken from her. So Jesus defends Mary's right to act as a disciple. And that to me is a story that's included because of Luke's emphasis on the female followers of Jesus being included in the ministry. So Mary and Martha, I hope you have a wonderful day.